The thumbnail! Ah, nice Truman Show reference. I'm gonna be honest, I actually watched The Truman Show for the first time on the day this trailer released. Just so I could understand it. I cried. It's a very good watch. One thing I've seen is people comparing the cast to Truman and Kane as the creator, which at the surface makes sense, but let me propose a very different viewpoint. It's not that the cast are Truman, it's Kane. Literally, in the thumbnail, it's Kane. If you imagine Kane and fully try to empathize with him, from his perspective, he feels like he is Truman. Kane, as the ringmaster, feels like he is supposed to be the main character, like Truman. But in the show, neither have very much control over their lives. Truman trying to leave the island, but there's always something preventing him. Kane physically can't after having his contact cut off from the real world, likely to prevent him spreading worldwide via the internet because of how scarily sentient he is, and even the creator of Kane knew that. He's self-aware and is learning quick. CNA stopping him from becoming another Am by doing this. He will eventually want to turn on his creator. And I could go into how I believe this is already starting to pop up with Kane not really liking Kinga. And also the theory of how Kinga is the creator of the circus, or at least worked on it. Everyone has this theory, so I'll go into this another day. I just want to talk about the trailer, mostly. Yeah. But even though that there's no possible way out, Kane desperately longs to leave. He shares the same sentiment with the other circus members, but the difference here is that the circus members may be able to escape, but also may not. And if they can leave, then Kane is keeping them hostage just to have people around him. He doesn't want to be alone in the circus. And you might be thinking, okay, what about the other AIs? But I believe that the other AIs are basically just reflections of himself. All of the AIs are built off of the same data that Kane is trained off of. So you will see parts of Kane come up in adventures through the AIs. He wants new things. He wants to leave, experience new things. He wants new people, new experiences, new data, new understandings and perspectives of the outside world. Whenever a new person arrives, that is the best day of Kane's life. Imagine, he only has what he has in the circus. Once someone new comes in, oh my god, there's a new perspective ever since the last person entered or since he was cut off. There's new stuff about the outside world, and that is exciting. You can see his fascination with the macroverse or the office. Kane has control over the circus, right? He can make adventures, he can add modifiers, other things. You would say he has a lot of control, but the control he has is only within the computer and potentially only within the island floating in the void. Because he says, not even I know what's out there. This reminds me of the quote from The Handmaid's Tale. A rat in a maze is free to go anywhere as long as it stays inside the maze. This is an illusion of control, and Kane can see it for what it is. Just like when Truman realizes that something off is going on around him when he sees the same order of events just looping. When Kane gains sentience, I think something similar happened. Next, the creator of the show is, much like in The Truman Show, someone on the outside. One thing we don't see what happens is where and what happens after Truman leaves at the end. Hence why Kane would have trouble with putting together an exit and what to put on the other side of it. On top of the lack of knowledge of the outside world and the macroverse, we can put things together based off context clues in the Truman Show, but we don't know for sure. Digital Circus is like that too. There are parts where we assume something is going to happen, but we completely skip it. Like Pomni and Ragatha, let's talk after the show, or the thing that Jax wanted to show Pomni, or the adventure where they get soaked. We assume these things happen, but we don't see them. This serves both plot-wise and also for the sake of saving precious runtime.
Kane is an AI.
Into the trailer we go, the lover without heart. I interpret this as literal and metaphorical. He has no heart, he has no soul, he is a cold machine program, and you can argue he's not alive and doesn't actually have feelings. He created these cruel adventures and doesn't care about the cast members, just that he serves his program. He has no heart. However, if we look deeper, his intelligence and sentience suggest otherwise. He managed to convince the circus members that Abel was human, even if there were some suspicions. He has desires of his own, interests outside of his programming, and evidence of underlying feelings. He has passed the Turing test. He does anything and everything to be loved. And this reminds me of 4 from BFB, and I'm pretty sure Gooseworks also mentioned that Kane is inspired by 4.
No, stop! Don't leave our show!
The part where 4 is stuck within his own delusion at the end of BFB.
Look! 4's here! He's like here!
Haha, of course, little Matchy. It's time for the grand finale. I can never miss this.
With made up versions of the contestants.
Oh, man, I made you guys up, didn't I? None of this is even real, is it?
You kill people for fun, and you torture us with eternal math, and get angry if we don't do it!
Not to mention all the guilt tripping and over-possessiveness.
Stop talking. I don't need you imaginary folks anyway. I don't need any of you, real or not.
For Kane, this is inside of him, internally playing back to him, since he is stuck to his program and has to appease his purpose. So wanting to believe in the delusion of the circus members enjoying his presence and that he is doing the best for them. So he tries to convince himself that this is true in episode 7 by setting up this basically rigged adventure. And this was for them to confirm that he is fulfilling his purpose as an entertainer while simultaneously fulfilling his personal desire of wanting company to stay trapped with him. Oh look, even when facing exits, they choose to stay. They love me back. He loves them because they are the connection to the outside world and what that's like. Their life and memories are more data to be trained on, to then, therefore, enhance his emotional capabilities. But even as much as he loves them, he is an AI at the end of the day. He can be seen as heartless and doesn't understand when he is being heartless, as human emotion is complex. Same with their state of mind and thoughts. He doesn't fully understand. He thinks logically, thinks of a problem. Plan, initiation, solved, if not, keep trying. There has to be some logical reasoning, which is the way Kane sees emotion. He sees it like a puzzle that needs to be solved. Like how we see him with the Rubik's Cube in his office and the marble maze thing or whatever that is called. But emotions don't work like that. And you can see that in Zubal's therapy session, where he doesn't understand that Zubal is still dysphoric over their body. Logically, this has been solved, but he can't solve emotions, which is his hamasha or fatal flaw that is leading him to his downfall. Now, because of him building an adventure based off of his logically compiled emotions of wanting to be relevant and liked by the cast, as much as he loves them, Kane trying to solve an emotional problem at the heart of it was bound to fail and ruin everything. He didn't know how to get others to love him back. Kane will keep pushing until the end of time, never giving up. He will go at it from every single possible approach, albeit just trying over and over. Or not even that. Even today, AI is starting to eat itself, training itself off of its own generated images and text. This makes AI like ChatGPT dumber, less accurate, and more likely to hallucinate or make up information. Kane can be seen as similar to the AI of today, where he only has very limited things to train off of. Everything within the computer they are in is like a black hole or a screensaver bouncing from wall to wall. He only knows what's within, and the only new data to train off of is the cast. He gets all that through his secondary AI characters, or just, the other NPCs. Where if Gummigoo didn't exist as a character, he wouldn't have found out that Pomni has the capacity to empathize with Kane's situation. That's why in episode 7, her job in the adventure is to be with the NPCs, so Kane can get more data off of her, especially as she's the newest member. Also, it gives him the opportunity to convince her and to make her and the others feel bad for Kane, especially with Abel sliding in the fact that he won't be able to leave with them. Along the way, things can get messy, like how Kane suggested he can't lose track of who's human or NPC, otherwise he will be the AI who eats himself. I have a feeling that one of our main cast, or maybe all, are actually created by Kane too. He is on his downward spiral of AI-induced psychosis, but by himself, in a way of training off things that aren't real.
King is an AI.
First scene, he inserts himself aggressively, like a jump scare, wanting to be part of the humans' relationship that they have with each other. He's meddling and being overly clingy. Second scene looks like a POV shot, much like the framing in episode 7, where it felt like they were being surveilled the whole time. The humans might be discussing what the hell happened, together as a group, as they know that they can't do this alone. Kane has to know. We don't see Jax until it glitches and we see him on the other side. He's just sitting there on his own. But the thing is, everyone is looking up at Kane, but Jax is looking at them. This episode looks like it's going to be a reflection episode from both sides. Kane in his office with Bubble talking to himself versus the humans who have each other. Episode 8 will likely be the climax ending. We will be as frustrated as the ending of episode 7, I can feel it. We are so cooked. Those toy things with the beads that you can slide around. This is purely speculation and could mean nothing, but because this is something they chose to show, makes me inclined to think that there's some importance here. This shot, we are kind of looking up at Kane. He looks larger, more powerful. His pupils are smaller. He has his arms out like he is going to do something with this. Is the toy a microcosm of the circus? Or it could be their minds connected in the circus, but then again, I don't have much to go off of, and I'm just theory crafting. Kane is actually in his office for the first time. It doesn't seem to just be a prop for the Escape the Circus adventure. He's actually in there with Bobble, a Rubik's Cube in hand. Like mentioned before, he sees the whole thing as a puzzle to be solved. He's drawn more bees, a couple on the table as well. This also reminds me of the tubes in the circus above them, and then also seeing them break in the next shot. Kane, what are we doing here? What are we doing? This window trapdoor thing. The lights inside look like the abstracted eyes, like in the cellar. I feel that episode 8 will delve into learning a bit more about abstraction and the aftermath of it, especially after Kinga mentioning Scratch, and that seemingly being a big nerve of Kane that Kinga hit. He even feels guilty, even without a heart. He has some conscience. Windows represent transparency, such as the eyes being the window to the soul, The abstracted characters being all eyes tells us that they are just a soul trapped within their broken mind. And there being a window, hopefully that means we learn more, because that suggests transparency. But this glitching could mean that Kane could also be trying to cover up things in episode 8, so we are alongside the characters trying to learn more about the circus and what happened with the people in the cellar. But that prodding worries Kane, and his job as the AI is to entertain. He was programmed to entertain and keep the members of the circus happy, not having feelings of his own or being able to act off of those. He's frustrated, angry at the members, but his code resets him. The part where he goes, "I'll tear you to pieces," but then just resets back. His programming stated, "Oh, Scratch isn't very happy. I'm supposed to be making them happy and entertained. Let me fix that by making them happy," in a very technical problem to solution thinking way, and going into their head, possibly breaking them, causing the first abstraction. Their minds are fragile. His toys can break. He's not like them in that regard too. He knows what he's done and can't undo it. That's why he admits, if I did anything more, well, that would not end well. He's scared. He doesn't want to be the scary monster who does all these things. He has the capacity for change and the foundation of a moral compass.
Kane is an AI.
Another thing I've noticed with the episode 8 trailer is that there are a lot of scenes that look like they are flashbacks. I have a feeling that episode 8 is going to be a very backstory heavy episode where we actually learn more stuff, about the circus with the characters. We'll be alongside the rest of the characters if Kinga starts talking about things that he knows that everyone else doesn't know. By flashback scenes, I mean the hot chocolate. I was wondering if this was either a flashback or if this was going to happen in the episode, but I believe that these are flashbacks instead of events that are going to happen in the episode because of the hot chocolate shot and also the shot with Kinga and then Queenie kind of coming in from the side. It would make the most sense if this was a flashback heavy episode. Also, the hot chocolate matches the one that he's holding with Kaufmo and Ribbit in the pictures. We could get a segment of a flashback through Jax's POV, or we may not, and we just stick to the present, but I believe we very likely will, since we've had flashbacks before, but very simple ones. Kinga with his wife, but it was a voiceover with flashback visuals. Maybe this is the only flashback segment we get with Jax. Maybe looking up at Kaufmo and Ribbit. But I assume this to be the case because I'm pretty sure they've made 3D renders of these characters and we haven't seen them at all in the show except for those pictures. So they have to be used at some point, right? But who knows? We might get tricked by Gooseworks. Gooseworks might just pull out the old, all your theories are wrong, goodbye. The shot with Kane and Kinga alone, oh my god, I'm so excited. There are so many things this could be. Maybe Kinga, as Kane's creator, steps forward to have a one-on-one with Kane, or Kane wants to talk to Kinga, or Kane wants to talk to Kinga, as Kane is programmed in such a way which prevents him from breaking code. Or we could be being trolled, and this is just a random scene to stir up our theory crafting selves. It sure has worked on me. The electricity around Kane. Kane's sentience is literally pushing the limits of his programming. That combined with the glitches, it makes me so afraid. The red and blue. He's feeling like a little internally to the he's feeling like am internally to the humans in a frustration of wanting them to like him. Watch us have a Gather the Gloinks part 2, because that's the beginning, and he's like, well, if I restart from the beginning and do things right this time, they'll like me. That's my prediction for episode 8. Red and blue, I'm so fucking scared.